Hello, Son of the Morning here with you for another new comic review. You're looking at Bang Number 1 by Matt Kindt and Wilfredo Torres, published by Dark Horse. This was actually released last week. I was really looking forward to reading this and reviewing it, but unfortunately couldn't get my hands on it, but was able to this week. I believe this is the variant cover because it was actually the cover art when I was looking online at new comics that drew it to me in the first place. I believe at the end here it does show this was the original cover. When I saw that I was like, oh, I want to read that just based on that. And so I picked it up yesterday and I was happy to have it. So we'll get into the review. So we start off the scene here where there's this guy who appears to be our protagonist, and he has this suitcase. He's getting beat up by these three guys. He gets himself loose and beats them up and jumps out into the water, where he is saved by a ship, hops on the ship, sees a book here by somebody called Philip Verve. This is going to become very important. And he just says here, halfway across the world, 50 gold maze agents, KIA, 2 wrecked helicopters in a collapsed building, all for a paperback. Nothing comes easy. And then somebody familiar to him says, that's not true. And then he responds, Fanny. So obviously he knows this woman. And so Gold Maze is, as we are going to come to find out, is sort of like a what's a good way to put them, like a Hydra sort of thing, or a Spectre, if you're into James Bond sort of thing. So this guy comes in, he's happy with himself, he goes to have himself a good time, and then I guess he's not our protagonist after all, is he? So he gets shot and killed, this guy right here. She's got the books. She calls him a pig. So this is a fantastic drawing here. I really like it. Really like the color. So like I said, the story's by Matt Kindt, art by Wilfredo Torres, color art by Nayoung Kim, and lettering by Kate Picos. So the story goes that there's this organization, they're called MI10, they're a secret organization, and they've been placed in Puerto Rico, where they're not in on any major land, so that they can do their stuff, their secret agent stuff. Now, the main guy here that we're dealing with is this guy here. His name is Cord. Now, Cord is learning all about the importance of the books by this guy, Philip Verve. They suspect that the author has sort of been like a mole, working both sides, an independent agent somehow. But somehow they know that these books of his contain some sort of secret messages in them, and both sides of whatever war is waged here is they both want these books. They're both after them. So now Thomas Cord is he's a field he's talking about his field report here. He's just thinking aloud to himself about how long he's been with them, talking about the gold maze. This, I guess, represents the gold maze. They are the bad guys. He's mentions how he's tired of this all, and just, wishes things were a little bit easier. comes into this place here, into this home, finds this woman, and she knows who he is, and she says that she's been waiting for him. Then she blows her cigarette into his face, and he begins to hallucinate, I guess you could say. He hits the ground. This cat starts talking to him. It's unclear to me whether she has turned into this cat. I can't say that one way or another yet, but it's interesting here. It's also really good art, but it says, "Is this version of you better?" You ask yourself for the first time, which is a very strange question for one to be asking oneself. And so, a very, very, very good art on this scene. I really, really like it. So basically what's happening here is it's showing this agent, Thomas Cord, in various different situations. Of course, these are all taking place in different generations. This one's happening during the Cold War. This one's during the 70s, talking about the 80s here. Or does that... No, sorry, 60s here. And just so... Each time he dies. So something is not quite right with Thomas Cord. And so he wakes up from his little hallucination. He's hearing little sounds. He follows the noises up a stairway, kicks down the door to find Verve, who's there with his automatic typing machine. And so he brings it in, and he tells them that he's there to help him defeat Gold Maze, and he asks him, "What's this, more novels?" And Verve responds, "They're not just novels, they're Strike Force. I wrote them years ago in anticipation of this moment." And so these are the books, I guess, that he has written. These are his doctrine that he has written. And basically here he starts telling Cord that, how is it that you're barely 30 years old, but you have memories of being Thomas Cord, MI-10 operative in the Cold War, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, present? How is that possible if you're only 30 years old? And then he hands him a book that says Thomas Cord, Sweet Death by Philip Verve, and it says to be continued. So very, very, very cool intro to a story, intro to a new series. And I'll just show you here. This is, I guess, what the next cover is going to be looking like, coming out on March 18th. Mark that date down, because this is a good one. This is a definite recommend. I would say definitely go pick this up. The art in this book is fantastic. The writing is also really good. There's some good humor in it, and it's already set us up with a really cool story. We have a secret agent that has been alive for we don't know how long. We don't know how many lives he's actually had. We don't know if he's a human. All of these things are questions that are left to be answered, and hopefully we'll start to get them as this series goes on. But I have to say, very impressed with Bang #1 from Dark Horse Comics. Good job writing, Matt Kinn. Good job with an excellent job with the art for Wilfredo Torres, and the coloring from Ni-Yoon Kim. Go pick this up. You won't be sorry. I think this is going to be a really good series. Very much looking forward to that March issue coming out so we can review it here on the channel. So I'd like to thank you for joining me here again for another video today. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that stuff helps. We're just starting out here, so Any new subscribers, any likes, all that stuff is helpful. At any rate, I am the Son of the Morning, and we will see you on the next video.